Are you a business owner who struggle to get customers and identify what problem they're going through and how your solution can help this problem? If you answer yes to this one question, this video is going to be just for you because yes, I have a podcast production business. In addition to that, over the last half a decade, I produced over 893 podcast episodes, and while helping 19 entrepreneurs launch their podcast with confidence, the thing that I recently started to do was to think about my customers. Was to think about the customer experience, was to think about what they are going through, was to think about what they are currently thinking about. And when I start thinking like that, when I start operating like that, my whole business model changed because I'm no longer guessing, I'm experiencing the customer's journey. So welcome to Phase Knowledge Podcast. And this is your first time here, make sure you got your pen and your notebook because today we're going to talk about why thinking about your customers is so important. So first thing first, point number one is this. Point number one is that you have to go through your customers' experience. XPERENCE. Okay, go through your customer's experience. Okay, when I started, it was called the what is it called? The journey of a car wash. The journey of a car wash. When I started this, it was like a side hustle when I was in the Marine Corps. I started this side hustle and I started washing cars. But how I started to watch the cars and find out if this was a problem or not, I went one day when I was in the Marine Corps, we was about to clean the barracks or where we were staying at. As we was about to clean it, I started looking at the amount of cars that was out there. Everybody was out there, so the parking lot was filled. Although the parking lot was filled, I was looking at something different. We're cleaning the outside of the building, but I'm looking at the cars. I'm like, man, these cars look dirty. These cars don't look clean. These cars needs to be clean. And so when I sat there and thought about it, I was like, I went out and went to go purchase a vacuum, a washing bucket, soap, and let's say water hose. Okay. So when I went to go get the equipment, the soap and all these different things to wash the cars, now I have to go find people to wash the cars. I'm like, okay, cool. The story that I made in my head about the journey of the car wash was this. The car go from dirty to clean to dirty, but it goes through a journey because it don't just get dirty overnight. It get dirty over time. It doesn't get clean. It does get clean overnight. It can't get clean in a day. But then I start to recognize, I'm like, okay, with my customers, what are they struggling with? So I was on base. Let's just say I was on, this is Camp Pennington has his own city. And so this is city, base, let's say base. Let's say city, out in town. So it would take 20 minutes to go from point A to point B, to go on base, to get off of base. It would literally take 20 minutes. In addition to that, it would take another, let's say 10 to 15 minutes to get to the car wash, to get to food, whatever the case is. It would literally take 20 minutes. 20 minutes to go out to get your car wash. So I'm like, all right, cool. What if instead of going out to get your car wash for 20 minutes, what if I make it convenient? Like, we already in the same area. We're already in the same location. What if I just make it convenient? So over time, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I go out and market myself, go out and put myself out there, and then handing out business cards, handing out all these different things. Then I start to get customers. As I was getting customers, my pitch, my sales pitch was like, hey man, we here. Like, you don't have to go nowhere. We are literally here. So all you have to do is bring your car to the barracks and we can literally wash your car. I didn't know at the time I was thinking like my customers, but that led me to think like my customers. What am I doing? I'm saving them time. Why is that important? Because you don't have to drive 20 minutes to wash your car. Why is that important today? It's important today for the podcast production because a lot of people hesitate to launch their podcast. Why? Because they don't know what to talk about. They don't know what to speak about, don't know what to post, don't know how to be consistent. So what if I just remove the confusion of the overwhelmness and to say, hey, all you have to do is just sit down and we take care of everything else. Launching your podcast with confidence is step number one. Now you got to learn how to edit. Now you got to learn how to publish. Now you got to learn how to post online. Now you got to learn how to get guests. Now you got to learn how to follow up. Now you got to learn all these different things. When I started to think like my customer, I started to become more convenient. I started to become more convenient. I don't know if I'm spelling convenient right, but it convenient is saying it's easy to use, it's simple to use. This is all I gotta do. Like that's really good. So when I started to recognize, I'm like, oh, okay, convenient. Like I don't want to be like every other business. I did a podcast the other day talking about don't follow the trend. You have to create your own trend so other people can follow your trend. And so when I start to really understand like everything that I was doing, I was like, there's something here, but as it's something here, why is it here? It's here because I'm thinking about my customers' experience. What does my customer think about? What is the problem my customer is going through? What is the solution I have? Before I get the solution, what is the mindset of my customer? How are they thinking? How are they operating? How are they like evolving? You see, when I started to do that, I started to really understand that I was in business. Why? Because the customer experience is the experience that makes a difference. Hold on. The customer experience is the difference. It is what makes the difference. Because I give you a prime example. Because when you go through your customer's experience, you are going through it yourself. Whenever I produce a podcast production, I know the steps to follow. When I was new to podcasting, I didn't know the steps to follow, and I was just guessing everything. So now when I work with other customers, when I work with other clients, first thing, number one, we're gonna get you confident on camera. Why? Because you never been on camera, you never recorded video, never recorded podcast, never heard yourself, never seen yourself. So step number one is to get you confident on camera, okay? Step number two is to help you understand what to speak about. You're not just talking just to be talking, you're talking to provide value. Value comes in different forms, different shapes, different positions, different everything. But until you start to go through your own customer's experience, you can't see the problems that they are going to experience. You can't find a solution that's going to come from you actually going through it. I'll give you a prime example. I have a calendar link, and or last couple of days I've been sending emails. And the emails get sent to my email list. Chris, what's going on, family? It gets sent to my email list. And when it gets sent to my email list, I'm on my email list because one, I've been my only customer for a long period of time, just testing, just seeing what's working, seeing what's not working. Why is it working? Why is it not working? Just constantly going through the journey process, the customer's process. And over time, I start to recognize this. I was like, oh, okay. Going through the experience gives you information that you wasn't expecting to find. So whenever I receive an email, I'm reading it, I'm learning from it, I'm seeing like, is this valuable? Is it not valuable? Is it helpful? Is it not helpful? I'm literally going through the experience. Why? Because I have to be my first customer. I have to be my first case study. I have to make sure that it's making sense. If I feel overwhelmed as I'm going through the customer experience, my customer is going to feel overwhelmed as they go through the experience. So I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to test everything. So that way, as I continue to work with clients, they don't have to worry about everything. They can literally just show up and speak. Why? Because I want to remove all the thinking. I want to remove all the stress, all the doubt, all the worry. 90% of podcasters stop podcasting after episode number 3, according to Buzzsprout and another podcast resource. And I'm like, why do they stop? And I start to figure it out. I start to learn, start to ask that they stop because of this. Because it's a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of work to do. So what if you don't even have to do that work? All you have to do is just show up. What if you, as the multifamily investor, just showed up and this is the camera and all you did was just talk? I want to make it convenient for you to the point where you not only just talking, we are directing you, we are guiding you, we are helping you, we are making sure that you come out as professional. I did a in-person podcast the other day, and then when we went, he was recording, and he had his laptop, and there was a lot of technical difficulties, right? So I was there. I had Cameron right here, right there, and I had another camera right here, right there. So I'm in the background. This is me. This is him. And I'm in the background just watching, and as I start to really understand, like, wait, hold on. That's the thing I want to remove. It's the technical difficulties. The technical difficulties should be removed. So then it's like, okay, why? Because if people get stumbled upon the technology, multifamily investors would not podcast because of the technology, because of the skills to learn, because of the information to do, because of all these different things. But what if, what if as I'm going through the customer experience, what if we remove the editing? What if we remove the equipment? What if we remove the marketing? The marketing. What if we remove the doubt? And I tell you this, as I start to go through the customer experience, I start to recognize that this is becoming more convenient. Because if all you have to do is record, not even record, if all you have to do is just talk, and then we take care of everything, and you start getting clients because you just talk for X amount of time, that's a different type of customer that's coming to your world. Because their experience is different. It's different because I understand the challenges that a new podcaster face when launching their podcast. It's not just about launching their podcast. What's the return on investment of this investment? You got loyal people, you got trust that's literally listening to you. It's literally saying, hey man, like what you did, hey man or woman, like what you did, what you said actually helped me. It helped me because I did X, Y, Z. But they only got the help because you did the recording. Like you showed up and we took care of everything else. You see, to when I start to recognize, like, wait, hold on, that's the secret. That's the secret. Now that I have now that I have the solution to the problem I'm solving, I just gotta go out and solve it even more. And so then I start to position myself differently. I'm like, okay, what does this look like? Well, how would I be able to do it more consistently? How can I do it more consistently? And so that's what I've been doing. So every day I've been podcasting, been teaching around podcasting, business, what I'm doing, what's not working. The customer experience of the audience right now are learning about business. Like every time that I'm doing something, I'm thinking of the customer. I'm thinking of the audience. I'm thinking of why is this valuable? I'm thinking about it because there's information that's here that I'm doing that's working, that's not working. I want to help you do what's working and avoid what's not working. Why? Because that's what matters. Education is what's sales. In fact, I'm going to research this when I get done. Is education like the number one marketing, number one industry? Like education, like school, college, all these different things. Like I gotta look that up because that's a good question. But anywho, when you get educated, the customer always comes first. They come first because they are at different parts of their journey, different parts of their process, different parts of everything that they're doing. And when I start to really think like my customer, I'm like, what do my customers need? Why do they need this solution? Why do they need this solve for them? Because one thing that podcasting helps is that you build trust. It builds trust. What's the ROI? What's the return on investment? What's the return on investment? And the return on investment are clients who trust you more, are people who want to connect with you more. Podcast is not just about a conversation. You're literally building the trust. Okay, so if you have a product and a service to sell, that trust will let you sell more services and more products. Why? Because people are coming to you and they bought into your vision, they bought into your passion, they bought into your solution. Because you've been educating them around the expertise that you have. You see, when you think of like your customer experience, there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of people doing the work. There's a lot of people showing up. But there's not a lot of people who are educating their customers on how to work with them or how to find somebody that's working with them. So when I start to recognize, I'm like, oh, that's a cheat code right there. It's a cheat code because of this. What's going on, dog? I appreciate you for coming in. Dog, dad. Oh, that's funny. And when I start to really understand more about customer experience, the customer experience helps you understand how to do it more effectively. Why do your customers come first? Your customers come first because they are the ones that you're solving the problem for. And I just thought about this today. I was like, hold on, okay. I was only focused on one way to get customers. I was only focused on one solution. No, in one way. I was only focused on one way. So then I'm like, okay, what are other ways that I can go about getting customers? What are other ways that I can go about getting leads? What are other ways that I can go about like showing up differently? I saw this video with Myron Golden and he talked about how you got 4 different ways to attract leads or whatnot. And he was like, prospecting is a waste of time. And I'm like, prospecting? I'm like, what does that even mean? And he got to explain it. He was like, prospecting is a waste of time because you are going out to people and you're asking them if they want to buy what you have to offer. Whereas if you have a place for people to come and you are findable, like he literally used the word findable. I'm like, findable? Oh, okay. How can you become findable? When you become findable, people come to you. People start doing business with you. People are gravitated towards you because people can see you every day. Podcasting is not just about content creation. Podcasting is about building trust. When you have the trust and people come to you to buy your products, buy your services, you are literally standing out. And I always thought like this. Like when I was doing sales with my mentors and I was cold calling. Cold calling it works. Like I'm not gonna say that it doesn't work. Like it definitely works. It definitely works. Any business that's cold calling, it definitely works. What I'm saying is this. I'm like, okay, I start doing the numbers. I start like thinking about the numbers that's in my head. And I'm like, okay, let's say 50 people. Oh, hold on. Cold calling. Let's say I got to reach out to 50 people. 50 people. Okay. All 50 people ain't going to respond. So let's say 5 people respond. And even if 5 people, hold on. 5 people respond. Even if they respond, I got to build their trust. They got to go through the sales process. They got to go through different amounts of communication. They got to go through different things, which is fine. It still works. But what happens is this. What if you got 50 people, same scenario, you got 50 people that listens to your podcast, and let's say 10 people book a call. That trust is different. Okay. That trust is different because they understand your thought process, your method, your solution, how you help them, how you have helped them. It's not only just about building brand, it's about providing value. Shout out to my wife. It's about providing value. It's about educating. It's about positioning yourself as someone that can be findable. Findable. And I don't know if that's a real word, but I heard it this morning. I was like, that was pretty good. The next point I want to hit on is this. So first point that we just talked about is go through your customer experience. The second point that we're going to talk about is to present your solution. And by solution, I'm actually saying present what you're selling, present what you're providing, present how to provide it. Over the last couple of days, I've been literally like doing the work and seeing what's working, what's not working, and I'm really proud that I'm doing that because I'm starting to see a lot of results. I'm starting to see a lot of outcomes. I'm starting to see a lot of difference that I've been trying to make over the last half a decade. But I had to recognize what I was selling. So as I went, the first point is go through the customer experience. As I went through my customer experience, I'm like, what are they getting? Okay, present the solution. Point number one, ask yourself what are they leaving with? As I start to help people launch their podcast with confidence, I start to help entrepreneurs launch their podcast with confidence. The main thing that they said was this: I'm leaving with confidence. I'm leaving with confidence. And I'm like, confidence? I'm like, what you mean by confidence? Confidence? So when I kept hearing Terryl help me with confidence to launch my podcast with confidence, Terryl help me show up more confidently, Terryl help me confidence. Okay. So I'm like, okay, what is this confidence thing? So then when I go back to the first point of going through the customer experience, okay, when somebody start, they have doubts. When somebody start, they are insecure to be on camera. When someone start, they overthink the process. Hold on, be on camera, overthink. When someone go launch their podcast, they purchase the equipment, but they didn't purchase the confidence, and they go out and do all the things. It's not going to help them launch their podcast. It's going to help them be more stressed out, be more overwhelmed, delay the process, and stop doing the work. Okay, why is this important? Because when I start to think like my customers, when I go through the customer experience, I'm experiencing the problems that they are going through. Why? Because I experienced it at first as well. I'm my own case study, and every time I go and help others, I always say, this is what I struggle with at first. I struggle with liking my voice. I struggle with being confident on camera. I struggle with actually providing value. But over time, as I start to do it more often, I got more confident. So you're not just building your confidence, you are building your business, you are building your clientele, you are building your leads. The more you put yourself out there, the more people start to say, you have helped me understand your solution. You have helped me understand what problem you solved. You have helped me understand because I was experiencing the same exact thing. Hold on. I was experiencing the same exact thing. Okay. The point number 2 was to present your solution. What is your solution? As you are going through your customer experience, let's just say the movie theater. When I was young, I worked at a movie theater, and I actually drew this out, and that's what really helped me understand more about business. So first thing first, you got your customer. Let's say this is the customer right there. Then let's just say this right here is the ticket booth. You got the person, you got the hoe right there. You got the person right here. This is called the ticket booth. So then the person walk up, they got their ticket or they buy their ticket and they go. They go into the movies and now you got concession, right? This is called concession, which are popcorn, candy, drinks, hot dogs, nachos, what else? Sometimes like the chicken nuggets or something like that. So you got concession. So then you got the customer right here. You got customer. So then when they go from the ticket booth, they go, then they go get the concession. Sometimes some people go to it. Sometimes people don't go to it. That's fine. But the whole process, the experience of the customer is that they have to do not a lot of things. They just go to the movies, get their ticket, get their concession, get their food, go to the movies, and exit. Okay. Concession, aka food. So then, when they go get their food, you got this stand right here, you got this person right here, this customer, this is called customer. And this is called theater, what is called theater direction or something like that. Theater direction. They direct you on what theater to go to. They direct you. You got ticket number 11. Hold on. Auditorium 11. Hold on. Let's say A11. A11. That's auditorium 11. Okay, so they got the ticket. They tell you go down to your left, and it's gonna be the last one on your left. Okay, you go down to your left, and now you in the movie. Okay, so now this is the screen. Let's say screen. Then these are the customers. Oh, hold on. Yeah, customers. Movie is playing. So now that the movie is playing, the customers watching the movie is playing, then it ends. Now what does the customers do? The customers leave. The customers leave. Customers leave and or restroom. Okay. Why is this important? I just said a lot right here. What's going on, Sid? I just said a lot right here. Okay. Let me explain everything that I just talked about right now. When I was working at the movie, they thought about the customer experience. When the customer first come, what are they going to do? Okay, they were going to have a ticket booth. The ticket booth is going to confirm and or charge them to pay for the ticket. Okay, once they have the ticket, what happens next? What happens next is that they go to get the food or go to concession. Once they go to the food, what happens after that? They go and get directed to the movie theater. Okay, once they go and get directed to the movie theater, what happens after that? They go watch the movie. And once the customer go watch the movie and the movie is playing, all these different things, what happens after that? Sometimes they go back to concession. Sometimes they stay the whole time. Sometimes they just watch the movie and then leave. Then what happens after they get done watching the movie? They leave the theater and they'll go to the restroom. So now, how do I apply that for the podcast production business? There's a process behind everything. When we come in encounter with entrepreneurs or multifamily investors, first thing first is that we're going to get you confident on camera. We're going to get you confident on camera, and then we're going to get you confident to provide value. Then we're going to get you confident to show up on camera. Then we're going to get comfortable with you marketing yourself. Because the more you put yourself out there, the more people are going to come to you. The more you put yourself out there, the more you will have customers. The more you put yourself out there, the more your business can grow. So it might not seem like that your ROI equals nothing. Well, it might be nothing in the beginning, but that nothing can turn into loyal customers. It can turn into loyal customers if you continue to put yourself out there. If you continue to launch your podcast. Once you launch your podcast, you just got to keep doing your podcast. And what does that do? Loyal customers equals, hold on, in terms of multifamily investors, it equals return on investment. You get your money back when you have loyal customers who responded to your videos, to your education, to every, oh my goodness. That's when ROI equals loyal customers. That was actually pretty good though. And then and it's understanding like the reason why you have to think like your customers or go through the customer's experience is point number one is that you have to present your solution. If you're not comfortable with your solution, you won't have no ROI. You won't have no customers. You won't have no people who's dedicated to what you provide. And that was the thing that I was struggling with for a longer time. I'm like, bro, what am I offering? I'm like, what am I selling? How do I go about selling it? Because I didn't know. I was struggling with that. And then I go to all these different entrepreneurship programs and I'm in different business programs and I'm just trying to figure it out. But recently, I figured this out. The first question that a lot of people get is, what is my return on investment? Your return on investment comes after you are consistent. I see this right here. If I go to the store and get some water, I pay for the water. This is instant gratification. The wins, the small wins of helping multifamily investors launch their podcast with confidence is helping them actually to start recording. Like, stop delaying the process. Stop hesitating. Stop not putting yourself out there. Because the longer you wait, the more customers you miss. Oh, hold on. That's the last part we're going to talk about today is that you have to do it today. Point number 3, start today. I'm just going to put start today just to keep it simple. You got to start today. You have to start today. And the reason why you have to start today is because of this. It's because you don't know where you're gonna go. My wife and I was talking one day, and I think she just randomly said it, and she was like, "The time is gonna pass anyways, so why not just use the time that you have to create the life that you want?" And I'm like, "That was good. That was good." And then I was watching a couple documentaries yesterday, a couple of videos, podcasts yesterday, and in different industries in film, music, content creation, cooking, all these different things. The number one question that I often hear when they open the questions up to the audience is this: well, how do you start? You start by using what you have. You don't need all the fancy equipment. You don't need all the fancy studios. You don't need all the fancy cameras. I got a camera over here somewhere that I used for one of the videos that I made yesterday, but I was like, oh, that was actually pretty good. You don't even need it. Like, you can literally use what you have. When you start today, you're using what you have. But what if I don't have no clients right now? What if I don't have no customers right now? That's fine. You still have to go through the customer experience, ask the customer, so when you get customers, you can solve their problem more confidently. I give you a prime example. So now I'm starting to do a lot of webinars. Hold on. I'm starting to do a lot of webinars. Webinars are online trainings. Trying to do online trainings, podcasting, of course. Podcasting. Hold on. Let me write this. All right. Podcasting. What else? Online trainings, podcasting. Of course, content creation. Well, content creation is podcasting. Speaking in a minute, like here shortly. I thought about this morning. I was like, oh, okay. Being a vendor more. Let's see. Producing podcasts, of course. Let me see. Let's just say that's it right now. So online training, so webinars, podcast, speaking, vendor, producing podcasts. Okay. All of these are really important, but they solve different problems. My webinar, for instance, I was like, okay, what do I need for my webinar? Hold on. My webinar, I'm like, what do I need? I'm like, okay, I need a presentation. I need a presentation. Excuse me. I need a presentation. Okay. Well, how long is that going to take? Well, back in 2021, 2022, I purchased a webinar course and they taught me how to do the webinar, how to do the presentation, all the different things. So I start to put it together, but I've readjusted it so many different times, which is fine, which is good. Why? Because I'm constantly going through the customer experience. What is this story I'm going to tell? What is the problem I'm solving? What is the product and the service I'm going to sell? So the presentation is being adjusted consistently. So as I have the presentation, have the webinar, and I go out and do the webinar, I'm like, okay, this is working, this is not working. I wasn't able to making no sales right here, but why? Then when I ask the question why, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Let me fix that. Let me adjust that. Why? Because I'm always thinking about my customer experience. I'm always questioning, if they didn't buy now, why didn't they buy? They didn't buy, based on my mentor, shout out to Bert, because people want a relationship. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? What does that look like? And they want a relationship before they buy. I'm like, okay, so this presentation that I've been building, I changed the entire presentation based off what he said. Now, it was my fault that I changed the entire presentation because he didn't tell me to change the entire presentation. He just said people wanted a relationship. Maybe I should ask a different question, but that led me down the path of thinking about my customers. What is the solution that they're going to leave? What are they going to leave with? What do they want? Why have they started? And so I start to ask questions. So with the podcasting, providing education around podcasting, around business, and giving tips and strategy of what's working today. What I'm doing today was working. Why is it working? And then to help new entrepreneurs and inspire podcasters as well. Okay, what does that do? They give the people confidence. They give entrepreneurs confidence to not only just focus on the podcast, but focus on the business of the podcast, right? Now, I got to speaking. I spoke multiple different times, but I didn't get paid. I didn't have a business model behind it. I was doing the same thing with podcasting and speaking, same exact thing, but I'm like, what problem am I solving? So then over time, I wasn't thinking about my customers. I was thinking about myself. I was like, man, I just want to get on stage and start talking. But as I start getting on stage and really adjusting and really improving, things start to change. The customer experience became the focus. Why am I talking about all the things that I'm doing? Because it matters, because I focus on the customers. When you focus on the customers, you have to start today. What if I don't have no paying clients? It's taking me 5.5 years to start really working with customers. But from in between when I started to now, I learned about business. I was implementing customer service. I was implementing different strategies. I was implementing like different presentations. I was learning how to think like my customers. And as I start to do that, now the podcast production company is more than just a podcast production, because we are helping you build confidence. We are helping you be more consistent. We are helping you gain more customers. Because when you are visible, when you have a podcast, when you are marketing yourself, this is where your return on investment comes from. So now the experience creates opportunities. It creates opportunities because of this. Because you become the known go-to person to learn about multifamily investing or entrepreneurship. Whatever business you're in, you become known for that. And people start to say, I see you. People start to say, thank you for helping me. People start to say, I support what you're doing. Eventually, if they don't become customers, somebody will become customers. Because if they are seeing you, they're not the only ones that's recognizing you. What happens is that more people start to learn more about the problem that you're solving because you are constantly showing up. Because you started today and you got comfortable on camera and you got consistent with it, and then over time people start to say, hey, I need your help with X, Y, and Z. I see you helping others. I need your help. Because until they get the help, they don't know they need the help. But when they know they need the help, they will come to you because they are struggling. And that's what business is. Oh man, this was good. So just to recap everything I talked about today, point number one is that you have to go through your customer experience. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you're in business, think like your customer. Think like, what are they experiencing? What are they going through? Why did they go through this? Content creation is a lot. Doing podcasting is a lot. So when you go through your customer experience, think about your customer for your business and their experience of what they're going through as well. Point number two was that you have to present your solution. Every business has a solution, but until you present your solution, no one's gonna know that you have the solution to the problem. They would just know that you are doing something, and you gotta be a way to be a service to others. Point number three is you have to start today. Time is gonna pass with or without you. So why not let the time pass with you and start figuring out the business that you're doing today? So if you are a business owner or a podcast or just someone who's growing, make sure you read the description below so you can join our newsletter and get up to dates on all the podcast episodes that we are going to release. Because when you are around the community, you can grow and you become a lot better. So lastly, don't be afraid to fail, because failure is knowledge.